Launch day. It's the moment that every founder dreams about. The big red button, the tweets, the product going live. But in Web3, launch day isn't just a milestone. It's a leap of faith. There are no rollbacks, no safety nets, just code, users, and the immutable, unforgiving blockchain. In this episode, we're going to sit down with the Freely team as they launch on the Stellar Mainnet. How does it feel to finally launch on Mainnet?
It has been a journey. It's exciting. And we've tested everything out on testnet. It's working fine, but then once we release on mainnet, we start to see some different type of errors. It happens. So now rather than having to debug on our local environment, we have to debug on mainnet with probably real money. And we have to get comfortable adding money to our wallets and moving money with them, since it's the product we are building and it's the product we are offering. So it is what it is. Probably just thinking about what's the best way of releasing the product, like not to be in an uncomfortable position. And that's it.
For months, the team had been working behind the scenes, testing edge cases, hardening contracts, preparing infrastructure, and then suddenly it was about to go live, shared across the world.
And has there been a moment in the run-up to launch where you were nervous something would go wrong, or what were your biggest worries going into the launch?
Well, we made our first real money test transaction from US dollars, well, from USDC to PHP, pesos in the Philippines. I think that was one of our biggest wins. I was very, very nervous. We had to transfer I don't remember the amount, like $80. And we started just like sending $1, making sure that works. And then once we're ready, then we just send the full amount. And then it's not a lot of money, but since we are going to be handling business accounts, and we need to be very, very comfortable with these type of movements. And that's it. I remember, I guess, a similar feeling on my previous startup, also a fintech. But if you are working and building financial systems, then you got to be very comfortable with what you're building. Otherwise, don't build that.
I think that's something probably other people that are in crypto, like general users, can relate to as well. Like the first time you ever send a Bitcoin transaction, you're almost surprised when that $1 turns up when you send that trust transaction. Like it seems ever so hard and kind of difficult and scary the first time you do it. And then after a while, it just becomes so natural. The more you do it, the more like the traditional banking and send a wire payment seems difficult in comparison.
Yeah, exactly. And probably having this in mind, we have to design all of the user experience around that. We know they might be scary to be like playing around with crypto. And then if on top of that, you're adding all of these new and like complex terms like transaction and fees and blockchain, ledger, all of that, you don't want to be showing all of that to the users. You want to be like making sure that they feel safe using your product, and you have to design the product taking that into consideration.
So for the end user, you just want it to work.
Exactly.
Shipping a product in Web3 is a very different beast. You're not just pushing updates to a server, you're deploying an immutable decentralized ledger. The cost of mistakes is real.
How did you prepare for the mainnet launch? Like, was there any last minute things you had to fix or rethink, or what were your preparations on the final day as you going into the launch?
It's not like we're just launching the product for everyone out there. We are slowly releasing the product like on a public beta so that we can have some beta users first testing the platform. That's where we can test and catch the initial bugs, work on that. And then just like the users need to gain confidence in the product, we as the developers of the product also need to make sure that we are offering something that's worth the time and effort for the users to be testing out. So it's not like a main release. We are going to be doing it on a rolling basis.
That seems a smart way to roll it out. And are you getting direct feedback from these initial invite-only users?
Yeah, and we are also using the product ourselves. And I've added a cool feature to the platform. In case something fails, you can directly send a message to us, and I receive the notification on my phone so that you have the direct support of the people building the product answering to you.
That should give a lot of confidence to people, that knowing that they can actually speak to someone. There's a lot of financial applications out there where you end up talking to an AI assistant or a call center at best. Once you'd launched this product into the beta, did you celebrate? Was there kind of a moment of relief that it was finally you'd got there, or was it straight back to work?
I feel like it's always back to work, but yeah, obviously it's like a huge milestone, but it is a weird thing that you often forget to celebrate. So, almost thank you for asking the question, because maybe Jose and I will have to like go get a drink after this, but you really often forget to just like celebrate the little wins, which is probably a really important process.
Behind every product launch is a community, and behind Freely was the Stellar ecosystem, a network that didn't just provide the technology, but offered support, funding, and guidance along the way.
So next question is, how did the Stellar team help you during the process, and were there any moments where their support made a difference?
I'd say, speaking for myself, it was speaking with a lot of people you would be in direct competition with, actually. And people don't view you as competition in this community. This community really just wants Web3 to win. And it's so cool to see how our journey started, just a couple of months ago, maybe almost a year. But now you look at the ecosystem and we've seen it grow with us. Like you see the Genius Act being passed in the US, you see stablecoins being enabled for huge institutions, banks like JP Morgan saying they're going to have a sole focus on it, and even like expanding to Bitcoin loans. And you just like finally see this momentum build up going crazy in Web3. And it's just so nice knowing we're being part of that. Beyond like speaking with the teams, also, I know Jose was super active on the Discord channel and working with the engineers there. Maybe I'll let him comment on that as well.
I remember receiving a lot of support, like technical support from the community. And then since Stellar is known for like having a lot of online hackathons, there's a lot of new people coming into the environment that have a lot of questions. And at least I know that I have some very specific knowledge on a couple of technologies from Stellar. Definitely not all of it, but whenever there's a question or something I can help with, I like to take the time and just guide these new people towards something that can help them. Not all of the time I can have the right answer, but sometimes.
Funny you say that, because I was searching the developer chat Discord a couple of weeks ago. I think I was doing something on passkeys for a video. Your name came up. I was like, oh, I know that guy. And it was some kind of, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was some kind of advice about like pointing to the docs or something. So it definitely does help. I can speak from first-hand experience there.
From grant funding to direct technical feedback, the Freely journey is proof that founders in Web3 don't have to go it alone.
What advice would you have for other teams that are preparing to launch a product on chain?
So for any team that is preparing to launch, my general advice would be, even though it may be a little hard, but to really, really understand the tech you're using. Because since you're the ones building the product, you are also the ones that are going to have to debug any issues that come on production. So you got to be sure that you know your product and you know what you're building, you know the tech behind it, so that you're very, very comfortable just debugging and solving whatever is coming out for your first users, which are very, very important for any startup.
There's a lot of hype in Web3, but Freely wasn't built on hype. It was built on execution. Quiet consistency, showing up every day to push things forward.
And what advice would you have if you go back in time and tell yourself something as you were just starting this journey? What advice would you give your earlier self?
I remember being in Meridian in the technical conferences, and then I know that room was filled with very, very smart people, and I was just there like as a passive listener. I think that would have been a great time just to ask questions, get to know more people, get some more contacts with with specific people on the ecosystem that know about specific parts of it. And I remember they were talking about all of these new like galaxies and indexing services. I didn't know what indexing services were back then. So probably if I was already considering building on top of this and getting more involved in the Stellar ecosystem, that would have been like a great time just to get a hold of a lot more context on everything in general.
How do you see the general Web3 ecosystem and DeFi evolving over the next decade?
I personally see like this huge momentum shift happening. And I think it's coming from something Jose mentioned earlier, is like our customers didn't care so much about Web3, but they needed the tech to work. And so with the adoption of stablecoin, you're seeing these huge institutions adapting to Web3 technology without even realizing it.
Do you have any thoughts about like common myths about Web3 that people are wrong about? Is there anything that you see either within the Web3 industry, like ourselves, or outsiders looking in, that you think isn't accurate?
Yeah, like I think whenever somebody hears about crypto or Web3, they think of rug pulls and like meme coin scams, and it's just not that at all. Like when you're really building in the community and wanting to add value, you see like such a genuine community of people that just want what's best for everyone and want to lift each other up. And it was not at all what I was expecting when I stepped into it.
And what is next for the Freely team, and how can people stay in touch?
Freely is launched on Mainnet, which is amazing. And we obviously want to see what the feedback is from our users. I know one of the things we're really hoping to do is implement cards as a service that's doing payouts to a company and then allowing them to do the local methods to their users. That would be so cool to see like that end flow of the flow be like a Stellar issued card. And you know, Jose is someone who loves that idea as well. We're going to be active on LinkedIn, still active on Discord, still posting updates. So if anybody wants to reach us there, and if not, they can just reach out on LinkedIn and get Telegram. Like always happy to speak with everyone.
Freely is live, Mainnet is real, and the best part, this is just the beginning. Thank you for joining us on this journey from a hackathon idea to a fully funded Web3 project to a live product launch on the Stellar mainnet. I hope you enjoyed the series, and if you want to learn more about building in Web3, then there is a selection of resources in the description. Thank you for watching.